Hi everyone, it's Miss Joanne here. I'm in my hallway again, and I have a craft for you for Mother's Day. It's a hyacinth card. It is not my creation. I found it on the internet, and I guess I adapted it a little bit because I always adapt things a little bit. You can find templates to make the parts if you choose on iheartcrafty.com. It's the letter I, the word heart, crafty.com. But I didn't actually use those because then I would have had to take my computer and plug it into my printer, and that would be too much trouble because I'm a little lazy. So anyway, I made my own templates, and mine are definitely chubbier than the ones that are on the website. I'll hold it against me. There you go. So I've got an oval. As I said, it's chubby, and maybe a longer one would be better, but it works fine. And I have a leaf, which you can see I made it skinnier originally, and then I made it bigger before I cut it out because I decided it was too skinny. It's still pretty tricky to fold it in half. So maybe a little chubbier would be better on that one. And the only other thing you need is a kind of a rectangle of green, which is the stem. So my cutout pieces, I have here a purple, one of the oval. I have green leaves, 2 for each one. And I have these little circles. These are just little strips. Each one's about that long. I would say like 3, maybe 4 inches, 3.5 inches maybe. Cut from the narrow end of a piece of construction paper. So it would be cutting, well, this is not a whole piece, so you don't get the full effect, but it would be cut this way, and then you cut strips. And each one I would estimate is about a 1/2 inch wide, okay, of mine. And when you first cut them out, all you have are strips. You see that? There you go. And then what I did was I took my thumbnail and I ran it along the one side to make it start curving a little because I was finding that they weren't sticking very well. And then you just put a little glue on the end. Now, if you have a glue stick, that would work perfectly. I don't. So I have some tacky glue on there. And let me tell you, are my fingers tacky today? Okay. So there we go, and just curve it into a circle. If you have a glue stick, it's going to stick pretty quickly. If you don't have a glue stick, you're going to have to hold it a little bit and get a little more glue on your fingers, just like mine. So there we go. We have a little circle, little ring. And what we're going to do with those rings is cover our oval shape. So I have one that I was working on. This is a pink one. There you go. It's very gluey, so you can see there are all my little rings on there. And you can make this either as a card, or just you could make several of them and put them all right on a piece of construction paper. I have here a piece of white paper that I folded in half already, and it's just plain ordinary white paper. If you had a piece of cardstock, that would be great. That would be fantastic. And I folded it nicely. I have a piece of pale blue that I cut out, and that's going to go on there. And yes, you're absolutely right. It's a very poor imitation of a rectangle. It's very uneven, but it will go in the middle like that. And then my hyacinth flower will get glued on to that. So I'm just kind of sticking it on. Now here's my leaf that I already bent. Oh, I lost it. No, I didn't. It's this guy. It just doesn't look bent. So you're going to fold it in half, crease it a little bit, and this was already folded. That's why it folded that easily. And then bend the end a little bit to make it look a little bit more realistic. And I'm going to quickly put this all together for you. So there's my glue and my card. And let's see, here's my trusty school glue. Is it going to come out? Let's see. Because I've had enough of that tacky glue. It's really tacky. Okay, so I'm just making a line of glue around my edge and then a little bit in the middle. There we go. I should open a little more, or else my glue is drying up maybe. That could be happening. Okay, so here we go. And not to worry, I actually have more glue downstairs. I'm upstairs in my house. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to glue it onto my piece of paper, more or less in the middle. I'm not going too crazy for it being perfect. I'm never crazy for it being perfect, because if I am, then I get really crazy. You don't want to see that. Okay, so here's my thing glued on. I probably could use a little more glue up here at the edge. And then, whoops, I'm going to glue on, if I can get my glue to come out, my flower piece. Let's see, I'm going to put it on the back of the flower. And I think most of this you could actually do with a glue stick. So there we go. And I'm sticking my flower on there. Okay, and I'm going to pat it down a little. Kind of tricky because of the curlicues. Now you don't have to make the flower first. I made it so you'd see what it would look like, because it takes a little time to do. It's on there now. Yeah, I'm going to take my green stem and I'm going to glue that on at the bottom. My stem may be a little too long, so I'm going to see if I can sneak it underneath the edge of my flower. Didn't you know this is the time the glue will be really sticking, right? There it goes. Oh, actually it was fine. I didn't need to worry about that. Okay, so it's kind of a fat stem, but that's okay. Looks like a tree sort of right now. Maybe I should have made it skinnier. Okay, so note to you, make it skinnier. Okay, and here's my leaf, and I'm going to put a little glue on there. Okay. Just on the back of it. And I'm going to stick it on and bend it down a little bit more again, because I want it to look a little more three-dimensional, not so flat, because the flower is certainly not flat. Okay, let me take my other leaf. Here's another one, and I'm going to fold it in half, more or less. It's not perfect by any means. And bend down my little tip a little bit. And I've kind of been, you know, the construction paper is kind of, malleable, let's say. So I can bend it a little bit, and I think I'm going to put the glue on the back of that. Come on. There we go. All right, and stick stick that one on there. And there we go. I have a card just like that. And if you've ever seen hyacinths, this really is what they look like. They're kind of about maybe this tall from the ground, and they have very thick green leaves, and each flower sticks up straight and has all these little curly-cue things on it. So I think that's a pretty good version of a hyacinth made out of paper. So there you go. And then if you were making it as a card, you could write inside. If you used the other kind of glue, you wouldn't have little wrinkles in your paper right now. But that's okay. It's all good. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. Now, I saw someone else made this same craft, and she made it freestanding. So you could make it so that it would not have to go on a piece of paper. So I need to squirt out some more glue on here. I have another one started, and I'm going to show you how that would work. So I've got my purple one that I just stuck a single ring onto it. And here we go. I'm sticking on some more. I have them ready-made over here, except for one or two aren't curled yet. Okay, and I don't really think it matters which way you do this. I saw one version that had them all neatly lined up looking, and that's kind of the way the real ones grow, but I kind of like it a little looser than that. So I'm just putting them down as I feel and sticking them and seeing how it looks, because that's my way of doing things, my modus operandi, way of working. Okay, that's Latin for you. All right, so here we go. And you see, once you've made these little curlicues, it goes fast. Making the curlicues, it takes a little time. Okay, here we go. Let me see, I need a couple more. And if you don't have a glue stick, you can do the trick that I just did, where I put the glue on a piece of waxed paper. Get a little more on here and then I'll show you. Okay, so there's my glue. Can you see that? Not really. There's my glue on the waxed paper. And I'm just sticking them on to, whoops, that one didn't stick. It stuck to me. There we go. Okay, so there I went from just an oval to a hyacinth. Ooh, there's a lot of wet there. Okay, in a few seconds, really. Okay, so there's my other hyacinth. And for this one, I cut a little notch at the bottom. Where can you see it best? There you can see it best. Okay, I've got my leaf shape, and then I cut a little notch at the bottom because we're going to try to make a three-dimensional one. So I already have a piece of construction paper that I just rolled up. I eyeballed it. It was a little bigger than this, but not much. So I'm saying like maybe 5 inches by 5.5 inches or something like that, guesstimating. Okay, I rolled it up and I already glued it because I knew that my glue takes a little while to set. So there it is. And here's my leaf with my little notch cut, and I'm gonna dip my little end of my leaf in my glue, which is almost dry now, so that's getting a little tricky to use. And I'm gonna put it on there like that, so it's on the side. And then for this, I'm gonna need more glue. Let's see, where's my glue? Here we go. And then I'm gonna glue my hyacinth on there. Actually, I'll just do it right on the stem. And I'm putting a goodly amount, which will probably work against me because it's going to be too wet. All right, let's see. I'm going to wipe some of it off to get it more like a little thicker. Okay, there we go. So I've got my glue on there, can you see? And I've got my hyacinth. Now this is still wet, so it's a little tricky. But there we go. And where's my glue? There's my glue. Let me see if I can pat it down here a little. There we go. I'm going to slide it upward. There we go. Okay. There you go. And so that one's three-dimensional. And actually, you could put a bunch of those into a vase if you wanted to. I think it's really, really pretty. And I think your mom would love these. The real hyacinths that grow outside have a beautiful, beautiful, but very strong smell. I can't have them in my house. I love them, but they actually make me sick because I have allergies. So this is my hyacinth for the day. There's my three-dimensional version. You could probably use a pipe cleaner in here, or a chopstick or a wooden skewer that mom uses for cooking, and put it in there too if you wanted to make them longer. So that's my three-dimensional freestanding one, and here's my card version. And either one of them will be a great gift for your mom for Mother's Day. And all you need is some construction paper and some glue. And this is what, 4 colors? 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. And over here, you just need green and a color. Okay, and I bet you could make a rainbow hyacinth too if you felt like it. Mix all the colors up. So have fun. Don't stress over them. Make them the way you want them to look, and enjoy. And I'll see you again next week. Bye.